Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Mad Dog with another video. So, for today, I want to talk about augments, how best to farm them, where to farm the majority of your augments, and how to use them in a little bit of a way. So, certain augments are gained at certain areas. Now, when you're augmenting weapons, augments will have base success rates. So, from the lowest augments, that will always provide a flat 10% increase. So, of course, the more you stack on there, the more success you're going to have. So in the case for tier 1, as you can see here, stamina 1, if you were to do 10, which is the maximum you can do, that's a guaranteed 100% success rate. So that's always good for doing maybe just very base weapons, maybe just something just to get you off the ground. Now when it comes to higher end, like say stamina 3 or even like spirit 3 or anything like that, the higher you go, the less success you're going to have. So of course, the more you use, the more success you're going to have. So things like might, precision, technique, and everything like that is going to have pretty much the base same success rate, either be 10% or be 9%. So it's always best to use more caps versus using less caps, and then, you know, having that chance of failing. Of course, support items will help quite a bit for, you know, your success rate. So make sure you always bring your A game when you're augmenting your items. So augmenting works a lot better than it did in PSO2. Where in PSO2 you had to do some farming. Well, in this game you do have to do some farming, but it's not as horrible. You just got to go out and find some caps based on what you need. That'll be the harder part, which we'll get into later in the video. So as you go down the list of what you want to do, you'll have your success rates based on whatever you're trying to augment. So stuff like souls, they're going to have varying success rates. Souls tend to be the least amount successful. As you can see, Alt Soul 2 is 8% per cap. So when you max that out, you have a pretty good chance of not failing. Of course, sub items and support items will help you on that. So make sure you always use those for items that you do want and souls that you do want. So stuff like souls and notes are going to have, like I said, just their set percentage. So just make sure you're using a lot as you can. Bosses will also have their own too. Going a little too low there. And then you have stuff like Dreadkeeper, which will have a set and stuff like that. So it's always good to have a lot of what you're looking for. Like Next Soul, for example, is Next Soul 2 is 2%, is 8%, and I only have one. So that's of course the boss Next Varus, who you have to fight to get these Next Souls. So you have to fight a lot of the same boss to get either their soul tier 1 or their soul tier 2, or if you're lucky, their soul tier 3. Now we're actually on a boost event going into the 17th, so if you didn't check out my last video, make sure you guys check that out. I will link it somewhere in the video if I don't forget, but of course I'll throw up a card at the end if you guys want to check that out. So I'm going to go ahead and give you an idea of where you can farm certain augments. For example, you'll have Magnus Note, which as the name suggests, Mount Magnus is where you'll farm these, and these are good for weapon potential for your melee damage. And then Lab Note, as the name suggests, will be the Vanfort Labs. They're good for ranged weapon potency. And Risola, which of course is the Resoul Force, is good for your technique potency weapons and stuff. You'll get dolls that'll be there, so you'll get doll souls and such. Daedals will be there as well too, and this is where you'll get the souls 1 and 2. Of course, Pedisouls is from the urgent quest, so if you're able to do urgent quests, make sure you do as many as you can to get the most souls that you can. That'll be best for any type of farming you need to do, so keep that in mind. As you can see, I fight a lot of dolls, so I have a lot of those souls. And then alt souls is just for the altars on the planet, so pretty much any native enemies, rock bears or whatever, you'll get it from there. Form souls, just the same types of enemies. Formal souls, you get tier 1 and you get tier 2, and I believe there's a tier 3, not sure. And of course you get your pain wards, your poison wards. Now for what I know right now, there's no anti in the game, so you can't really guard yourself against like poison and burn. You can just resist yourself to a certain amount, to which either you can't catch that status effect or it won't hit you that hard. So let me go ahead and switch to another part of the video and I'll show you where you can farm different types of souls. So I'll be right with you. So I forgot to mention, before I head out in the open to show you a few augments and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and show you just, how augmenting will work in a game. So with any augments, you'll have to start, of course, with the base weapon. Now, weapons underneath a certain level, level 20, are going to only have the ability to affix 2 slots. As you get up in levels, as one of my weapons right here, I will have weapons with 4 slots. So let me find my rod. Not something I should say every day, but so my 48 rod is level 40 with 3 out of 4 augments. So as you can see, I have Spirit 3 on it, Technique, and then Rissola. So I could have put Technique 3, but as you know, they're a little harder to come by and stuff like that. So what you'll do is when you level up your weapon to plus 20, you'll get your first slot. 30, you'll get 3 augment slots, and then 40, you'll get 4 augment slots. It's the same thing applies to armor. Once you hit, as you can see here, I have 3 slots already. Once I hit level 40 plus 40, I'll get my 4th slot. So as you're leveling up for units, unfortunately, you can only use like units that you find to get. For weapons, you got Prim Swords and Gold Prim Swords, which will give you a lot of experience points when you're augmenting your weapons, so that's always a good plus. But anyway, for adding augments to weapons, you just start off with, I'll just use a base weapon for example. So this sword here, I'm going to go into my material storage, and so I'll get all of my augments here now. This is why it's good to have material storage, so all your augments will just go all right here. So when you want to do augments, for example, your first slot, which would be stamina 1, for example, I'll put 10 in here, and as you see, it's 100%. So when I'm doing augments like stuff that are higher up, Mellow Durable, for example, is 10%, and all the way to 3 will be 9%. So if I had 10 of these, that would be 100%. And Mellow Durable will do that because I have all 10. So it's always good to have 10 of a lot. So Alt Secreta is 8%. If I did all 10, I'd have an 80% chance to augment. So if I were to confirm this, it'll pick from categories that you can do. So category 1 will be stamina, melee, precision, technique and such. Category 2 will be kind of like your Secreta and stuff like that, or notes. And then of course, if I had the 3rd category unlocked, it would be souls. So you only pick 1 from each type, and I'm pretty sure they're going to add more along the way. So you can go ahead and you can pick from which category, and you can see there, it'll tell me my stats at the top, what I'll do. And if I start a fixed augment, I can put booster items. So if I did my 10%, I'll go from 100% to 90%. Well, I'll go from 80% to 90% on my Alt Secrets. Pretty much the same like on PSO 2. So none of that's changed, it's just what you can actually put. So souls, you can usually only have 1, and notes, you can usually only have 1, and then, of course, your stamina and your melee and your precision, you can most likely have multiple. I'm very sure you can have multiple. I've seen people with them, so you can do stuff like stamina and then stuff like spirit. So that's going to be 100%. Regardless of what you do, so you can start that right there, and then I got stamina and I got spirit. So that's pretty much just the base, and of course the amount of cash needed depends on the rarity of the weapon and the caps you're using. So let's head out in the field and I'll show you just a couple examples. So before I actually do, here's the map. So as you can see, Lab Note you'll get from here, Rissola you'll get from there, and then of course Magnus you'll get from there. So I'll head out in the field and I'll show you how to get like precision and melee and everything like that. So let's go ahead. Okay, so when you're out in the field, running around, you can fight just random enemies and get drops from them as well. So killing the BC, I just got precision 3 just from killing a level 1 enemy. So you can go around, and of course it's all random, and you can just farm enemies. See, got technique 1 and stuff like that. Using stuff like rare boost rates and everything like that will just really help you just farming any type of augments. Of course, it's going to all be random. So there's going to be in no case that you can find one you're really just looking for. You just have to be just really lucky in finding ones you're looking for. So That's just a little quick tutorial about just where to fight augments like that. Oh, look, Rappies. I'm gonna so hate to do this, Rappies. Something is falling on me. Yep. But yeah, if you see Rappies on the field, you know, as huggable as they are, they just... Yeah, you find Rappies, unfortunately do that for grinders. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. That will just help you just find augments. When you're in combat sectors, you'll find dull souls, alt souls, and other souls like that. They're pretty much the only souls you'll find there. You won't find precision, you won't find too much might and all that others out there. You'll just find those like really mob bosses, their souls, you'll find them there. So make sure if you need particular souls like melee and stuff, you just come out in the world and just farm random enemies, and in my case, helpless Rappies. I'm sorry, Rappies. Anyway, catch you guys in the next video. Peace.